We are the Church of the Larger Fellowship, the Unitarian Universalist congregation with no geographical boundaries. We believe in cultivating curiosity and transformation that is rooted in profound love.
For over 85 years, the ministries of the Church of the Larger Fellowship have circled the globe and crossed the walls of prisons. We are a spiritual lifeline for our over 2,000 members in prison, who are also connected to individual Unitarian Universalists through our letter-writing ministry.
In our online community, we offer weekly worship, classes, and groups. Our monthly magazine, Quest, supports the spiritual lives of thousands around the globe. We know better than anyone how deep and meaningful connections can be formed even from a distance.
We are proud to be a leader in this faith movement, and we invite you to get involved in our ministry. We strive to be a place where anyone from anywhere can find spiritual refuge anytime they need it. Welcome to the Church of the Larger Fellowship.
We are so excited to bring you an all-new episode of the Voices of Unitarian Universalism, known affectionately as The View.
The View is a weekly Unitarian Universalist talk show discussing important faith-based topics from an anti-racist, anti-oppressive, and multicultural perspective.
Since 2013, we have gathered every Thursday from September to June to welcome guests from around the world.
Our guests are writers, scholars, activists, and religious thought leaders who are shaping Unitarian Universalism and society for the 21st century and beyond.
We hope that today's show inspires you. We hope it builds your faith and gives you perspective to see the power of Unitarian Universalism at work in your life.
Welcome to The View. I'm unmuting. Hello, beloved. Welcome to The View. I am Aisha Hauser. My pronouns are she and her. I come to you from the land of the Coast Salish people, also known as Seattle, Washington. I'm a brown-skinned woman with glasses, curly black hair with some salty gray in it, and I'm wearing the keffiyeh, the symbol of liberation for the Palestinian people. We're going to talk about love today because the fucking world needs it right out of the bat. Welcome, welcome to The View. I have the honor of being one half of the lead ministry team of the Church of the Larger Fellowship, and I will pass this to my better half, the Reverend Dr. Michael Tino. Michael, how are you?
Oh, hardly the better half, Asia. I'm the Reverend
You are.
Michael Tino, the other half of the lead ministry team of the Church of the Larger Fellowship. My pronouns are they and them, and I am coming to you from the land of the Kichwaun, Wappinger, and Munsee Lenape people, about 35 miles north of New York City, where Mayor Zohran Mamdani has been installed and is already doing shit. So, God, we usually talk about the weather, allowing people to come in. Listen, I will say this for winter, because I am at this point in winter. Fuck ice in all of its forms except for in my drink, and so I mean the institution and the shit that's outside my window.
Right.
I'm done. I'm done with it on the sidewalk, in human form or in water form. So there we go. DC Fortune, how are you?
You know, I'm sort of okay. I'm here. I'm Reverend DC Fortune. I am a regular guest host on this program. I am coming to you from Auburn, Maine, on the banks of the Androscoggin River and the unceded land of the Penobscot Nations and the Abenaki Council of Nations. And I serve as the minister at First Universalist Church in Auburn. And we are gearing up here for an ice storm of the Gestapo kind, not the like weather kind. you know, our governor is pretty cool. Yeah, we're folks here are on edge. That's for damn sure. So anyway, enough about that for this moment. Dante, give me something to smile about.
Oh, well, let's talk about that off camera. So I am the the Reverend Dante Hilliard. I currently serve as Learning Fellow for Worship for the Church of the Larger Fellowship. I am coming to you from the land of the Council of Three Fires, which includes the Ottawa, the Ojibwe, and the Potawatomi, also known as Cook County, Illinois, where the city of Chicago is located. That's where I am, where it is currently 21 degrees, but it feels like 15. Yes. So I don't know how much smiling we can do about that. And I love this city, but I don't really love winter. But I love that winter does not cause everything to stop in Chicago. So that's why I love Chicago. Winter still happens. It's just everything doesn't stop. I appreciate it. Something to smile about, child. I don't know. It's so many dumpster fires going on right now.
Can I name a pet peeve?
Go ahead.
My name. So there's a lot there's a lot going on. A lot being and what I've seen many TikTokers say, which I'm like realizing is probably more to the point. What's happening with these undertrained federal, although well-trained or no great shakes either, but the undertrained ICE are actually akin to slave catchers. That they are just going rogue. I mean, I don't even know they're rogue. I mean, I think this is, and so when I heard that, and then I'm also, there's this folks saying, oh, we're cooked. Imagine, if you will, if Harriet Tubman said we're cooked, if Frederick Douglass, if Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, the civil rights leaders of if Marsha P. Johnson said, oh, we gotta, it's so, okay, then we're cooked. Like either we decide that we are going to center love and liberation and work for it. Well, what the fuck is the point? Go ahead, Dante, because, I'm just going to rant and say fuck a lot.
Okay, I'm about to get a real Christian right here.
Do it.
This is one of the things that I hold on to from my Christian upbringing. Because the whole Christ story is, well, we're not cooked, but I will be. They're going to get my ass. I'm telling you, at some point, they're coming for me. But until they come for me, I'm about to do this world-changing shit. I'm going to teach you how to do this world-changing shit so that when they do come for me, the movement continues beyond. So we're only cooked when we do this individualized bullshit.
Say more.
It's still a movement 2,000 plus years later. So, movements only die when we don't prepare for the future. When we don't lead like transformative leaders do, who train the next generation. So yeah, they might get me, or I might fail, or I might have to lead, for whatever reason. But the movement doesn't have to stop. But if you don't see yourself in the movement, then yeah, you feel cooked.
Oh, I love that. The movement only dies when we see ourselves as individuals. Is that what you said? I should have written that down.
There's so many. I mean, militaries train this way. Like you train for that people are ready to step into the next position or to above where they currently are because someone may go. This is what Ella Baker did with SNCC. Like she was like, everybody is trained here as a leader because no one person gets to fall out and fall apart.
That's right.
And so I think it's instructive to look at Minnesota right now, where the community together is rising up to oppose this military takeover of Minneapolis. And, we saw it in Chicago that when the community rose up together, the National Guard was sent home. And, we saw in Los Angeles that when the community rose up together, the National Guard was sent home. And it's not each individual one of us needs to do everything. It's the community has to do it together.
Right.
Yeah, I've got a whistle and I'm going to show up and trust that other people will do their thing.
They have to they're literally feeding each other. People are bringing food out of their homes to feed the people who are on the streets protecting communities.
Yep.
They're doing that work of being a movement.
I also think this is a good time to speak more about movement chaplaincy, which is a movement of folks who decided that, okay, you may not want to be on the front lines. You may not want to be a protester. You may not want to be a person who's putting their bodies on the front lines. But how can particularly religious folks show up for movement folks supportively? Like, okay, you don't want to be on the front lines, but can you have a water stand so people can get water? Can you designate your congregation as a safe gathering place if things get out of hand? Like, can you bring food or could give people space so they can make their side? Like, there's still ways in which we can show up for movement for people who are putting their bodies on the line, even if that's not what you feel that you can do. You can still support.
Well, and since today we are talking about love, it is the monthly theme at the Church of the Larger Fellowship this month. I think that we, as a religious people who claim that love is at the center of our faith, need to be asking ourselves, how do we practice love in this moment? How do we practice love for our communities? How do we practice love for our immigrant neighbors? How do we practice love? And practicing love takes many different forms. There's not one, like we were joking behind the scenes before the show started about the fucking rules, because we actually like the fucking rule, which is consent, right? So practicing love means practicing consent in how we show up in our communities with our neighbors, and not just going out there and doing shit, right? And like, that's radical. It doesn't need to be a sexual relationship to be a relationship. That consent is important, and we can't just like show up in a neighborhood and do what we want and say what we want. We have to be accountable
Right.
to the people who are being targeted, and that's a way to practice love. Feeding people water, warming stations in congregations. Those are ways to practice love.
And also, everyone's a target. Like, it was,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Black and brown people are more of a target, but we've always been a target. But now everybody's a target.
So.
Did you lose me?
No, we just lost DC for a moment, but I brought him back.
Yeah, internet. Your internet is unstable, honey. That ain't the least of it. Yeah, when I left, I was hearing about. I heard Dante talking about. There's something for everybody to do in this thing.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of metaphors. Some say that it's like that this isn't a marathon; it's a relay. Right? Everybody gets a turn, and it's also like being part of a ginormous chorus when you're doing Handel, right? You just learn to breathe at other times so that the whole place doesn't go at once, right? That's just how you do it, and the layers happen, and it maintains its volume. When you need to drop out and take a breath, great, we'll cover for you, and then you come back and I can take a break.
We also need to remind everyone, and this is part of what I've been kind of amplifying. More people do not want this nonsense than do.
Yes.
And here's what the people in power continue to vastly underestimate. They are overestimating their support.
Mm-hmm.
And they are underestimating how many people have nothing to fucking lose.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, people have come out in full force after a woman was shot in the face who said to the man, "I'm not mad at you."
Dude, I'm not scared of you.
Or dude, well, yeah, I mean, so,
Dude,
so there was
no, you're right.
there
Dude, I'm
was
not mad at you.
danger.
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, the point is she wasn't brandishing a gun. Her hands were up. There was no, but what I'm witnessing, because I'm not in Minneapolis, what I'm witnessing, and our minister emeritus, the Reverend Meg Riley, lives there, and we can invite her on if she has capacity. But what we're witnessing is people who live there said, "Fuck you. We're going to be out now in full force." And that is what this administration thought when people would keep saying, Nazi Germany, Nazi Germany. We're not fucking Germans. Because, I mean, some people here are German, but you know what I mean? Like, we are ornery motherfuckers. We don't like to be told what to do. We are not homogeneous. The Germans fell in line and wanted a scapegoat. They were much more homogeneous. And I'm saying it was a different, like,
they did not expect Minnesota nice to be ornery motherfuckers.
Exactly. Like,
you have never been sighed at aggressively if you've not been to Minnesota.
I lived
Well, you could have gone to Wisconsin.
Well, all right. Yeah.
So
Same
that's
accent.
what we need to remember. There's A, numbers wise more of us, and B, their morale is in the toilet, but they can't back down because toxic masculinity and white supremacy. But we have to keep, to your point, Dante, and what all three of us have been saying, four of us, is we continue to organize, mobilize. I mean, on local chats here that in Seattle, people are like, what do we need to do? What and just people who are like, I've never usually just post about like lost cats and shit are now like, bring me in, coach. Like,
there's a political moment too
Yeah.
that I want to name, because for the first time since it was established in 2003, not BC4, but 2003, a majority of Americans support abolishing ICE. In fact, 17%. The difference now is 17% between the people who support eliminating ICE and the people who want to keep it.
Yes.
I mean, it's not even just a majority. It's a clear majority. And people have to seize on that, because I think even if they just repealed the law from 2003 and went back to what we had before, which was no great shakes.
No, but yeah.
But it wasn't, I on NPR today here in New York City, I think you can look it up on WNYC.org. They had an author from The Nation who went to an ICE recruiting event in Arlington, Texas, and applied for a job. And they offered her a job. She has all they needed to do was Google me.
Oh no, she did that online.
No, she went to
an event.
An event in Arlington, Texas.
Jesus.
And
she shows up with purple. She literally has purple hair.
And she is a former military person, so that was legitimately on her resume. But they asked her like 3 questions, and then they offered her a job with ICE. And she said, all along we've been fearing that, are they getting white supremacists into ICE? Yes. Are they getting January 6th insurrectionists into ICE? Yes. Who are they getting? And the really scary news is they don't know.
They don't know. They haven't got a clue.
They're not even bothering to check. They didn't do a background check. They didn't do a Google search on this woman's name.
Right. I saw that, and she is eminently Googleable.
Yes, and that's what she said. All they had to do was Google her, and they have like
But we
articles
need
that
to be
she's written on
clear.
ICE has murdered.
One of the reasons they don't care is that's why they're trying to pay them shit tons of money. Because their hope is that they're like, people aren't loyal to jobs, but they are loyal to their bank accounts. They're loyal to their pockets.
Well,
And
and
yeah,
even the $50,000 signing bonus, the word is that it is paid out $10,000 a year for 5 years.
mm,
And if you don't stay the 5 years, you have to pay back.
of course, I'm sure.
Oh, that sounds
It's like when
holy
AT&T
crap.
promises you can get a free phone, but then they be like, well, you got to pay for it. And then once a month, we take a piece of it out. And I'm like, it's not free. Like, there's too many rules here.
I had no, so how can we, without using our cell phones or anything we could track, how can we encourage folks to be malicious non-compliers and join ICE?
Well, someone called into the show, and he was like, it would be a real shame if millions of Americans applied for these jobs.
Who would, it would really be an undercover operation, because to go in and like just fuck up their, I'm not saying to do that, obviously, because that would be fraud.
They did. She said the interview was like 3 questions. Your name is, like, I see here
Date of
your
birth.
military, your date of birth is, like, that was the interview.
And the drug test, they had her drug tested, and she had participated. She had consumed cannabis that week, and they, like 9 days later, she got an email saying, "Congratulations, you're in." And when she looked at the date of the reporting, like, we got their test results back, it was post dated 3 days ahead, 3 days in the future.
Wow.
Yeah.
They go wrong.
So
Wow.
what would happen if everybody applied? I mean, everybody.
Well, yeah. I think honestly, whatever throwing the sand in the gears looks like, because they are bullies in like the playground school sense, but they have a lot of, they have the military gun. They're powerful bullies. They don't have the military in terms of they're not going to come onto our shores against Americans, but they went to Venezuela. They can wreak havoc. Because one of the things we do in the United States is invade other countries. That is not an illegal order. We went into Iraq, Afghanistan. They're now talking about going into, this is not so that's why when, I follow a couple of military people and they were like, it's an unlawful order to go to Venezuela. And one of the military, the response was like, no, it isn't. Look at how many countries we've invaded since 1776.
Just because we've done it doesn't mean it's lawful.
So I'm gonna offer up this person that I've been following. She's really pretty remarkable, and I'm corresponding with her, trying to get her on the show. Daniela, something I can't pronounce.
Mastinak Young, the knitting co lady.
Yes, she had like 4 different videos up this morning, and one of them was about the military.
Yeah.
Now, this woman was born into and grew up in the Children of God cult.
Yeah.
She knows from trauma, and she knows from systems. Right. She got out of that cult, went to college, like got her high school diploma, went to college, and then joined what she calls the cult of the army.
That's right.
And I just finished reading her book, Uncultured, which is a memoir.
I'm halfway through. Yep.
It is the subject matter is really heavy and hard to read, but the writing is really accessible. And one of the things she does is she draws magnificently clear parallels between how cults work and how the army works and how this presidential administration is working.
Yeah.
And she's got another book coming out on Tuesday. Mestiniak. Yeah, my mouth just ties into knots with that middle name, with that second name. I just
Mestenak.
Mestenek. Yeah, when she says it, I can hear it and I can say it, but I look at it and my mouth goes, no. But anyway, but she did a video, she had a video out this morning about understanding military culture. And she described what she calls malicious compliance, which is why you had, when the Army showed up in Los Angeles, the only thing they did was stand on federal property.
That's right.
They did not go onto municipal property. When they showed up in Washington, D.C., right? They had them cleaning up trash. Right? That was not what Trump wanted them to do, but that was within their legal purview. And so that's what they did. You wanted them here, they're here. We're not going to give them orders they can't follow. So we're going to have them pick up trash. And so there's a certain level of malicious compliance within the military as well. So, yeah, I'm hoping I'm in correspondence with her.
Excellent. That would be great.
Hoping we can get her on the program.
That would be really great.
But anyway, so I just, like, my brain now is going, we can't lump the monolith, we can't lump armed services in with this ICE thing, because they go by very different rules.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Very different rules.
Well, also Trump the U.S. military is not going to come on American soil. Actually, it's Daniela who has said we couldn't control Afghanistan, which is the size of Texas. Like, there is no military that's going to control the United States. She said it's just by numbers, it's not going to happen. And she makes the point, we're an armed citizenry.
Yeah, she's like, we've got 350 million people with probably that many guns.
Easily that many guns.
You know?
And so, centering love in all of this, I do want to make the point, because the other thing that people have been saying that, we are now hosting, the CLF is hosting a monthly theme talk. So for January, we had it this past Monday. And one of the things I brought up is, people have said something to the effect of, well, I want to learn to love someone. Oh, they brought it up when Dante and I were doing the low tech service. Like, I want to love people who disagree with me. That's not our calling. We don't need to love people who disagree with us. We need to humanize everyone. The thing that we are called to do, to not make things worse, who want love and liberation, and want people to be treated humanely and with care. This is the work I personally do, is not to demonize and not to dehumanize the people who are doing horrific shit. It is not fucking easy. Every time I read about what's going on in the West Bank and in Gaza, for me to maintain the humanity of the people who do not see me as human, don't see the Palestinians as human. However, that is my calling. I'm not going to even pretend to love these people at all, but I'm going to humanize them. They are human beings, because that is the danger.
And that practice is an act of love, even if you don't love them.
Right. Oh, I appreciate that.
I mean, how many of us have people that we love but we can't be around? Like, I need my distance from you. I love you, but I can't. It is not good for me to be in close contact with you. Like, that's a real thing. And I think again, I'm going to go back to the Christians. One of the legacy of Western Christianity is concepts of cheap love and cheap grace and cheap forgiveness. That these things are just so free. Like, oh, I can just do heinous things and be like, oops, I'm sorry, I did that. And now my slate is wiped clean. No,
maybe with God, but here on earth, we got accountability practices we'd like to talk to you about.
But even all the ancient traditions, like, that's not how forgiveness.
That's true.
Repentance required. I have to acknowledge what I did. I need to seek to make recompense for what I did, and I need to not do it again. Like, it's not instant. That's not how. It's not a
Love
cup of
her.
ramen.
That's right, Nicole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the coming in chat. I don't know.
Oh, did you click your thing on the bottom to make it pop up? Click
No.
chat on the bottom right.
On the right.
Oh, look, there it is. Aha! Oh, look at that. Everybody's been talking.
But yeah, I think we cheapen the concept of love to make it so fluffy. And everything about love is not. Love has some sharp edges too.
That's right.
Love is like hope, like a sewer rat. It ain't all flowers and fluffy stuff,
And my best friend always says, more monsters are created by love than by hate.
Mm.
Oh.
And she says that because often people are not trying to harm you. Like, their intent is not to destroy you. They are actually loving on you the way that they know how. But it just may not be a good way.
Also, a truth I heard recently was betrayal only comes from people you love. Because you don't trust other people. It's the people you trust, that's where the betrayal comes from.
Yeah, you can't be betrayed if you.
Yeah.
I can't be betrayed by Donald Trump. I don't expect him to ever be on my side.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's the ones that we think have our backs.
Now what does Cory Booker have to do with it?
Deepest.
Oh,
I'm not a fan.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Don.
what does Cory Booker have to do with this, DC?
So you all need to know, I lived in Newark when Cory Booker first started his run for mayor there, because I went to Rutgers in Newark and I knew people on his campaign, and everybody was like, oh, he was the Barack Obama before Barack Obama, and he's the biggest fucking disappointment. Like, bruh. He's up there with Clarence.
How do you spell Fetterman?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be honest here. My expectations of folks raised either as a white man or a black man are different. I don't know that I expected Fetterman to necessarily be and somebody like Cory Booker, who I think white people seem to like a lot, and I'm kind of like, ask people from Jersey about Cory Booker. I don't know. I'm not a fan, and he's incredibly disappointing. Is that what you're getting at, Dante? Is that what you want to hear? How much I don't like?
I was thinking about when we talk about who can we feel betrayed by, and I do think that black people feel betrayed by him because I think a lot of us saw promise in him, particularly after the election of Barack Obama. Like, he could be the new next, and then he went to Congress, and he drank all that Kool-Aid.
And he may never have been the person we thought him to be.
That could be true too. But I think once he went to Congress, we saw a different person. And I also think this is a part of the critique of the Democratic Party, is that when people we want you to fight back, what they're saying is, if you about this life, you can't just be okay with it. Because love will make you lift a car off of your baby.
That's right.
Love will have you walking over glass and hot coals. If you got to get to that to save someone you love, that's what love will do.
That's right.
So when people, this doesn't feel like you love us, that you care for us, because we know that you could do something different and you choose not to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they love themselves. And their paychecks.
Well,
they love their paychecks.
They write strongly worded emails, strongly worded letters.
Woo zing!
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're gonna put a. There was watching some show, and he was like, "Yes, I have an amazing packet for that committee meeting tomorrow." And the guy was like, "Packet?"
It's like an SNL skit.
Like,
They have a fascist takeover, and they have a packet for the committee meeting.
You know, there's a lot of conversation now in New York, where I live, about how it is that you need to show up when you have power. I'm glad that people are actually having that conversation out loud and like in public spaces, because the new mayor of New York City is forcing people to have that conversation because he's asking for things. And so far, you know, he's been mayor for 15 days. So far, people with power are showing up because they understand the political wave that put him in office. So,
Right.
like they fear accountability, right? So the governor,
Corporations do not make decisions based on morality. They
No.
make decisions based on profit.
so the governor of New York, who I would have to love to feel betrayed by. So I'm struggling. I'm struggling with that. She has been a tepid cup of tea for for 6 years, whatever it's been. She is announcing in her State of the State address, maybe it's today, maybe it was yesterday, I don't even know, that she's found a way to fund universal child care, free universal child care in New York State.
Huh. Imagine that.
And the
Wow.
mayor is like, okay, well, I guess I didn't need to ask you to raise taxes on wealthy people to do that, huh? We'll save that ask for something for a different priority.
That's amazing.
And you know, she's saying, you know, this is because, you know, the mayor of New York City has tapped.
This is the way the wind is blowing.
He's correct.
You can sail with it or get blown over.
And so people are rightly having conversations about she's had this power this whole time.
God.
Yeah. And she is now being forced to use it in a way that is benefiting people. And I think, you know, kind of to your point earlier, Aisha, we the people can force folks with power to do things.
Yes.
Like there is something there. She if she wants to be reelected, she needs to win the Democratic primary against a progressive challenger who's now the lieutenant governor, and she needs to win New York City in order to win the because most of the Democratic voters in New York State are in New York City.
Right.
She's from freaking Buffalo. So New York City people are like, we don't give a shit.
That's a different planet. That's a different. Well, Manhattan views the rest of the world as a different planet, to be fair.
But isn't it Frederick Douglass who said power concedes nothing without a demand?
That's exactly right.
Nothing.
Right.
That's
Nothing.
right.
Never has and never will, he said.
People with power don't just surrender power. They just don't.
So
No.
You have to take it.
I think the flip side is we convince ourselves that even if we demand it, it won't concede anything.
Yeah.
And that's wrong.
Yes, it really is.
Right? So power concedes nothing without a demand. But sometimes, and not all the time, sometimes when you demand it, it actually does concede something.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, and billionaires can't be billionaires without us spending money. I mean, the boycotts have been working.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's also, you know, they're trying to get us in line. And again, let me reiterate how ornery, at least, especially people in the US, but there are more and more people all over the world who are in, you know, facing fascism or in totalitarian regimes who have nothing to lose. And they're like, fuck you. And that's how movements have been happening across
Look what's
millennia.
going on in Iran right now.
Yeah. And
Hundreds
they're,
of
what is it,
thousands of
2,000 people? The
Hundreds
state
of
murdered?
thousands of people in the streets raising hell.
And the state's mowing them down. I mean, I think, I want to say the number. I don't know. I'm making things up. I don't want to make things up, but I know several hundred people have been murdered just point blank from, and people are still coming out because they're tired. I mean, we're facing climate catastrophe globally, and people have been watching a genocide that they've been unable to stop, several. And so it's like, okay, well then why wouldn't we fight the powers? What choice do we have? We're going to be pains in the ass.
Right.
Yeah.
The most dangerous creature is the one that has nothing to lose.
This is why we so often lose wars against people and nations who have a strong faith tradition. Because if I'm convinced that dying in holy war takes me to, a wonderful place, that's a hard person to be, because you're trying to get home. We
lost in Afghanistan. We lost in Afghanistan. The Taliban is now back in power, and all we did was wreak havoc on that country.
To be clear, so did the Soviet Union.
Nobody wins in Afghanistan.
Right.
Nobody wins in Afghanistan.
2 superpowers were defeated by people who have a strong conviction. I am not defending I'm not a fan of the Taliban. Do not hear me say that. My point is, unless Russia and the US and China and North Korea decide to go literally nuclear, people are always going to fight back because we want a better world. We don't want this.
So, I wanted to circle back to sort of interpersonal dynamics around this concept of love and what I think is the cheapening of love. So when we talk about love at the center, and I'm struggling to talk about this a bit. I have 2 family members that I am in basically low or no contact with. Not because that's how I would like it to be, but because right now it's how I need it to be for my own wellness and peace of mind, and to follow my own practices and boundaries. But I was talking with one of these people who I hadn't talked to in 5 years, and they seemed confused. And I tried to say, okay, let me try this one more time. Let me try to re-explain what this is. I have never been a priority in this relationship, but I pretended like I was for years. But I just choose no longer to pretend. Like, I'm not mad. I don't even need you to change. I'm just really clear. I'm really clear that I was never a priority, right? And this person says to me, oh, well, I didn't know you felt that way, and this, that, and the other. Or I would give examples, but they don't remember them, and it's like, so they were like, well, how do we move forward? And I said, well, I don't know how to move forward with a person who doesn't remember all the things that are extremely alive for me. And I said, I certainly don't know how to do it without a neutral third party. And they were like, you mean a therapist? I was like, absolutely. Because I don't know what to do with this. So the only thing I could think of is it'd have to be through this. Anyway, because I have good boundaries, I had decided how long I was going to be on this call. And I was approaching that time. So it's like, ooh, I need to go. I need to get on this other call. And as I'm getting off the call with the person, they go, oh, okay, yeah. Well, check into that therapy thing and let me know.
Yeah, no.
And I thought, oh, wow.
So I have to do the work?
Yeah, right. So even though I'm letting you, the reason that we're here is because I'm never a priority in this relational dynamic.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it ends with, oh yeah, go do that research and just let. And sometimes we have to sit, and I'm sitting with that. Like,
yeah,
I didn't make these things up. I'm not being ridiculous. I'm not making a mountain out of a molehill. You don't know how to be in good relationship with me. And I can't be in good relationship with you by myself or by pretending we're in good relationship. Because that's what I used to do as a child.
Sure.
But I don't, well, even as an adult, but I don't want to do that. I choose not to do it anymore.
Nicole Thibodeau says, sounds like they think you're the only one that needs the therapy.
Yes. They actually think it's
right, because the person who's healthy is the problem in a dysfunctional system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been there. And I feel like, right now the people in the US and the American government, I think there's this they're like the people in power have been terrible boyfriends that we keep taking back. Like, and that's true for both the Republicans and the Democrats. Like, it's not about, I mean, the Democrats are, to me, the worst example of, or maybe the best example of this centrism bullshit that gets us here. Obama was the, deporter in chief.
Yep.
Biden expanded the policy. And I mean, I voted for Kamala. Please do not hear I didn't. I voted for Kamala Harris. And she was running on, she wanted the military to be stronger than ever and the borders tighter than ever. She was running so what was our choice? And so some version of this, and I did not want it to happen. I don't want, undertrained people who are cosplaying the army running around our streets. But some version of it was inevitable because we never had reparations. We never had reparations for people for descendants of enslaved Africans or the indigenous population. So to your point, Dante, the person who lived in the la-la land of only you need to go to therapy and have their own version of whatever it is they think, that, they were in denial about their own behavior. As soon as you said, hey, no, I'm going to put a boundary. And as soon as people, who've been called woke as a bad thing and who are fighting for liberation, we're the ones who are pathologized, who are saying we can't keep doing this. Yeah. It's hurting everyone. Violent extractive capitalism is hurting all life, not just humans.
Well, but I do want to say, yes, it is like we keep going back to bad boyfriends, but it's also like you're on an island where there are only 3 possibilities.
Say more.
We live in an oligarchical, power-centered culture, right? So me and my best friend joke about this about cell phone companies. I don't care which one you're on, they're all bad. They are all bad. And you can break up with one and go to the other one, and you're just trading one set of problems for another, right? So at some point, if you want a cell phone, you have to deal with one of these bad boyfriends. Look, there just aren't any really other good options. They're all just meh, and you just got to decide which meh works best for you.
Which meh sucks the least.
But we're at the point right now where that's the reason why Mamdani won. And in Seattle, we had a socialist Democrat win, Katie Wilson. And side note, the Seattle city attorney, Erica Evans, is a Black woman whose grandfather, and forgive me for not knowing his name, I should have looked it up, is one of the men in 1970 or 70 something who did the Black Power salute on the Olympic podium. His granddaughter is now Seattle city mayor.
Mayor or
I'm sorry.
Attorney.
I like how I say that with complete confidence, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
Seattle city attorney Eric Evans. So I think
there is. We could do it too. Oh, I'm sorry.
We could.
Yeah, but we correct ourselves.
We correct ourselves. Well, I think I guess now I'm like losing the plot. I think what I'm saying is the Democrats who are holding on to power, the Chuck Schumers, the whoever the fuck, think they're benefiting from the system that they want to meet the fascists halfway.
Yeah.
But then you get Zohran Mamdani, you get Katie Wilson, you get people who are like, no, we can make this a lot better and more humane. And his win scared them because I was like, all right, if we come out, and I also need people to stop saying there's not going to be midterm. The Republicans want midterms. A lot of people are leaving Congress because they want to be governors in their state. Elections are hyper fucking local. People have to have their little election fiefdoms. And this is one of those things where it's going to work in our favor. They are not, so everyone's got to stop with that other nihilism. There's going to be elections. You think they would have let Zohran fucking Mamdani win New York City if they were in control of elections? Fuck out of here. Stop. Like, everybody use your noggin. Stop it. It's so weird that they're going to allow. Come on.
And yeah. I don't like how many town clerks I ever covered as a local reporter. Those old ladies, you do not mess with them.
Hyper local. We do not have, the United States could not control Afghanistan, which is what, the size of Texas. So we think they're going to somehow get control of small town Maine and small town whatever the fuck to control the elections. Everybody needs to stop.
Well, I mean, they don't need to get control of small town Maine. They need to get control of the computer systems that tabulate votes.
These are people who can't manage a group chat. They can't have a conversation about national security strategies without accidentally including a reporter on the group chat.
I mean, it's like, oh God, I'm about to say. It's like Tyler Perry is writing the plot.
Where's Medea?
Which means it's transparent and
it's predictable and yet not like, whoa. Like, because like if we wrote this, no one would publish it.
No,
they would be like, this is too sensational. Like
this is just too goofy. Nobody'd be that dumb, that crazy.
But it's happening again. Shonda Rhimes stopped doing Scandal because it was like, I can't compete with what's actually happening
with the news
in the world right now. Like this shit was fun, but now like Scandal is nothing compared to what's happening in DC right now. So.
And I want to like take us full circle because I also want to talk about the loss of one of the most important people in Unitarian Universalism this week. Our hearts are with Minneapolis. We are, and every other place where they are trying really, really hard, they being the current administration, to scare us. And this is what you can do. Every single person who's against this can do what they need to not be scared. That already is fighting fascism, right? And then go from there. We'll go with your capacity. Who can you talk to? Who you can make a meal for? Every single one of us can do something, including not let fear take us. I saw somebody post fascism is, PR is also PR is a big part of. They're trying to scare us.
Yep.
One of the things that I learned many things from the Reverend Meg Barnhouse, author of All Will Be Well. Probably the most famous of her work. But I love Mango Thoughts in a Meatloaf Town. If you've not heard that one, look that one up, one of my favorites. But she used to say, I believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person, not every idea. And that was one of the things that helped me navigate universalism and really people holding some pretty destructive and heinous ideas. And the Reverend Meg Barnhouse died on Tuesday, January 13th. She had cancer for the last few years. Michael and I were very close to her. And I mean, to say I'm going to miss her would be just quite an understatement. I'm very blessed. I flew out to Texas to see her in September. And even though, someone's going to transition and become an ancestor, it's still hard.
Well, and I will say, Meg has joined my shelf of ancestors. She's next to Alandria and Hope and Danielle and Shannon up there behind me. When I was just starting to think that I was called to the ministry, I went and talked to Meg. She was the first person I said out loud that I thought I was called to the ministry. And what I got from that conversation is that it is possible to be a minister and be real. And it is possible to be a minister and be true to who I am as a human being.
I didn't get that right away. I wish I had.
No, not very many people get it. And I would never have pursued that call to the ministry if I didn't know those things, and Meg taught them to me.
I mean, I knew I was called to ministry at like 13 years old. but I'm just now doing full-time doing ministry at the center of my life because the world I grew up in said we don't want fags over here. Well, at least not if you say it. You can't say it out loud. You can't say you're gay and you want to be a minister and you're going to be in this Pentecostal tradition and you're not going to look sad about it. You're actually going to be okay with it. Like, no.
You sure you don't want to be a music?
If you look sad about it, they'll let you linger.
You sure you don't want to be a music director?
Oh no! My musical skills weren't good enough. I was a choir person, but I wasn't a soloist, so I didn't have
like that. That seems to be the role for gay men in.
Well, no. There's also deacons and preachers and bishops and apostles too. Well, so let's just to be really clear, but yeah, I didn't. So even though I knew what my path was, I'm at over 50. I'm just getting to it in this way because I thought I had to come up with some alternative path.
So you understand what a blessing it was for me. Just figuring out that, oh, this is what I'm called to do.
Yeah.
To have someone live by example that, like, I didn't have to put on a mask.
No. I had no one in my life that could say, oh, absolutely, you can do this, you can be this, and be your full self and not have to hide or lie or deceive.
Well, there was no box ever created that could have contained Meg Barnhouse. So you got no choice but her full self, because that's...
And her books, if you have not been exposed to her books, please buy every single one. I've read every single... I mean, our joke when I first met her almost 20 years ago is that I was her stalker. But she also made accessible, searching for truth and meaning. Like she was human. To me, it was an example of how to human and be like, oh, okay, I can feel this way. And that's actually a pretty human response to a situation that I'm living. And she was so damn funny and knew how to just inject joy when needed 100% of the time.
And as a gifted storyteller, within this is Seeds of a Spirited Life.
Yes.
She modeled her own growth. Right? A good story is not about other people's growth. A good story is about encountering the world and letting it transform you.
I was going to say, this is one of my favorite books on love, Bell Hook's Salvation, Black People in Love, where she basically says, love is our only salvation. And I normally don't disagree with Bell. Every now and then I do. There may be a couple things I disagree about. But this note that I don't know what this soft, mushy, pillowy love that people keep thinking about. But for her, there is nothing that can save us but love, right? And I think we have to take that concept very seriously. But we live in a world where the love means I get butterflies and I want to take you to the ice cream parlor. Like, it's not.
Hey, now, don't be dissing ice cream.
I like a good ice cream. But
right, no, I know. I'm teasing.
We use the same word to describe our relationship to pizza and to human beings. I love you.
I don't know. I like ice cream better than I like some people.
I do too. And with that, it is 12:59, and I want to go out on a song. So Aisha does mention that I've got it all queued up. That one of Meg Barnhouse's famous songs is all will be well, based on a conversation that she had with Julian of Norwich. We're not going to play that. But look it up. We're going to play one of her less famous songs because love is our theme. This is Beloved's House of Love, and CLF has lifelong permission to use Meg Barnhouse's music in our worship and programming. So we give you this song with permission from its composer.
Ciao, everybody.
Don't you wish you could fly? Don't you wish you could fly? Don't you wish you could fly? Fly away up to the house of love. Don't you wish you could see? Don't you wish you could see? Don't you wish you could see who holds the keys to the house of love? Yeah, the house of love is where they play the blues, and you nod your head because you've paid your dues. Yeah, the house of love has got a crooked floor, but you find your feet once you're through the door. Don't you wish you could say? Don't you wish you could say? Don't you wish you could say, I'm gonna lay down in the house of love? Yeah, the house of love has got a great big yard. You can't just sleep out there if your heart's too hard. There's a cool dark well with a silver cup. You take a drink from that and your soul heals up. There's angels playing cards in the living room. There are angels in the back trying on perfume. There's angels on the roof standing on their hands. There's angels on the porch laughing at your plans. But don't you wish you could find? Don't you wish you could find? Don't you wish you could find peace of mind in the house of love? In the house of love, you lay your burdens down and they welcome you when you come around. Nobody judging you, giving you disgrace. They'll say the sweetest things right to your face. Yeah, they're coming for you, baby. Never fear. Angels coming for you, baby. Don't be afraid. Love is coming for you, baby. Never fear, never fear. Love is coming for you, baby. Don't be afraid. Well, now, don't you wish you could be? Don't you wish you could be? Don't you wish you could be all safe and free in the house of love?
Thank you for joining us. Special thanks to everyone who gives generously to this ministry. It is because of you that this ministry is possible.
Visit clfuu.org/give to make a contribution.
We hope you will join us next week for another episode of the Voices of Unitarian Universal.